Welcome to our self-leadership reading club. What is that? Well, as you know, if you know me, I've been teaching leadership for 22 years now. And a big part of leadership is your own continuous development and walking the talk and sharing knowledge. So why don't we spend this time looking at self-leadership and continuously improving ourselves so we can share value with other people and impact their lives more than anything. And I apologize because I've literally just eaten my soup really quickly because I didn't realize what time it was. So I apologize, I keep clearing my throat. But here we are. So what are we reading? We are reading Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. It's a new read for me. It isn't new topics. So what I'm doing is I'm reading part of the chapter and then we're having a conversation. So if you are here watching live, which I can see some people are, please join in the conversation, say hello, tell me what you think, share your experiences. So let's get going. What is principle 18? Can you believe we're up to principle 18? It is reject, rejection. Reject, rejection. Let me tell you a little bit more than that. Hi, Jack. Welcome. We keep going back stronger, not weaker, because we will not allow rejection to hold us down. It will only strengthen our resolve. To be successful, there is no other way. Don't you love that? If you're going to be successful, you are going to need to learn how to deal with rejection. Rejection is a natural part of life. You get rejected when you aren't picked for the team. You get rejected when you don't get the part in the play, don't get elected, don't get into college or graduate school that you chose. You don't get the job, the promotion, you don't get the raise, and so on and so forth. You get rejected when your manuscript is rejected, your proposal is turned down, and oh my goodness, this list is very long. Hi, Tanya, how are you? So I'm not going to go through this list because, Jack, this is really long. Rejection is a myth, and I'm going to go more into this after I finish reading because I really like this particular topic. To get over rejection, you have to realize that rejection is really a myth. It doesn't really exist. It is simply a concept that you hold in your own head. Think about it. If you ask Patty to have dinner with you and she says no, you didn't have anyone to eat dinner with before you even asked her. And you don't have anyone to eat dinner with after you've asked her. So life and the situation didn't get any worse. In fact, it stayed the same. It only goes worse if you go inside and tell yourself something like, see, no one likes me. See, I'm not attractive. See, I'm never going to find love, and so on and so forth, which is reinforcing our limiting beliefs because the only limits to our future success are the ones we put on ourselves. We've talked about that in previous episodes. I'm sorry, I got my phone off, so I'm just going to switch it off here. Although I'm getting some lovely messages. So thank you for the message on here. Message on the comments so we can see. If you applied to Harvard for graduate school and you don't get in, you weren't in Harvard before you applied and you're not after you applied. Okay, so you see the pattern here. And think about this. You've spent your whole life not going to Harvard. You know how to handle that, right? So things really haven't changed. The truth is you never have anything to lose by asking. And because there is something possibly to gain, you need to ask. And if you take a look at yesterday's episode, it was all about ask, ask, ask. So Jack Canfield's had this very long acronym. It's SW, 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 SW. Okay, so I first heard this in November of last year, and I thought, that's a really long acronym, but I actually kind of like it, so listen to this. Whenever you ask anyone for anything, remember the following acronym, which stands for some will, someone, some won't. I'm going to start again, I'm sorry. Some will, some won't, so what? Somebody's waiting. I saw a really great meme just a few days ago, and it said, what if you are the person that somebody is wishing for on their vision board right now? Oh, isn't that awesome? So whether that's love, whether that's, somebody is looking for the perfect person for this particular position in an organization, or whether that's they're looking out for this particular person to help them, and that person is you. Someone out there is waiting for you. You are the right person for them, to give them value, to give them impact on their lives. I really like that. Some people are going to say yes, and some are going to say no. So what? Out there somewhere, someone is waiting for you and your ideas. It is simply a numbers game, right? You have to keep asking until you get a yes. The yes is out there waiting. As my partner Vic says, what you want wants you. You just have to hang in there long enough to eventually get a yes. Oh, don't you love that? And no matter where you're applying it, so right now you're thinking, how does this apply to you? And maybe, you're reaching out and giving resumes to new companies. and you're getting rejected. It's hard, but you never worked there before, so you've lost nothing. You've gained by potentially getting a contact, because you never know, that person could go and have a conversation with someone else and say, I saw this great resume. They're not great for us, but you know what? It's just the person you're looking for. You just don't know. Lots and lots of case studies in Jack Canfield's work, as you know. I'm not going to share them all. I'm going to share this one with you then. Great phrase. You know, I like my cheesy phrases. Never give up on your dreams. Perseverance is all important. If you don't have the desire and the belief in yourself to keep trying after you've been told you should quit, you will never make it. I know there's somebody watching here that knows this very, very well. Just say next. Get used to the idea that there's going to be a lot of rejection along the way to the golden ring. The secret to success is to not give up. When someone says no, you say next, right? It's almost like the dating game if you're in there. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Next, 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 next. That's okay. Next. Keep on asking. When Colonel Sanders left home with his pressure cooker and his special recipe for cooking Southern fried chicken, he received over 300 rejections before he found someone to believe in his dream. Because he rejected rejection over 300 times, there are now 11,000 KFC restaurants in 80 countries around the world. This book was written a long time ago, so I'm sure there's a lot more than that. If one person tells you no, ask someone else. Remember, there are over 5 billion people on the planet. Someone, somewhere, sometime will say yes. Do not get stuck in your fear or resentment. Move on to the next person. It is a numbers game. Someone is waiting for you. Is that not powerful? Alex says here, in fact, I'm going to share it on the screen here. Sometimes rejection is the best thing that can happen because it leaves you open for better opportunities. Alex, you're so right. That is so the truth. Alex is a fellow firewalker. If you don't know about firewalking, Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within. Alex, you're absolutely right. I want you all to think of this. When was the last time, I'll just take that off the screen there. When was the very last time where you were rejected and you thought, but then right after it, this great door opened with a better job opportunity, a better person to date, a better advice, better ideas, right? You can't, if you just said yes to all the time, you're going to get placated. You want to make sure that a yes is exactly the right yes for you. Agree? Disagree? Tell me. Tell me in the comments what you think of that. Let's see. I did. I had one more story for you. Some famous rejections from Jack Canfield here. When Alexander Graham Bell offered the rights to the telephone for $100,000, which is a lot of money in those times. It's a lot of money now. President of Western Union also replied, "What use would this company make of an electronic toy?" Right? Angie Everhart, who started modeling at the age of 16, was once told by model agency owner Eileen Ford that we should never make it as a model. Why not? Redheads don't sell. She later became the first redhead in history to appear on the cover of Glamour magazine, appeared in 27 films and numerous TV shows. I'm not going to read all these out, but there's some really awesome one. Novelist Stephen King almost made a multi-million-dollar mistake when he threw his Carrie manuscript into the garbage because he was tired of all the rejections. We are not interested in science fiction, which deals with negative utopias, he was told. They do not sell. Luckily, his wife fished it out of the garbage. If you don't know this story, it's pretty awesome. Look it up. His wife fished it out of the garbage and sent it on. More than 4 million copies of the book was printed, and it was obviously a blockbuster film, right? Let's see. There was another one that I wanted to share with you. No, they're just going on and on. And that's okay. But there's lots of famous people that got rejected. Think of it right now. What would you not have if you hadn't rejected rejection, right? So one of those, for example, is I manifested myself out of corporate, meaning that I wasn't very happy, and it showed, and my bosses knew it, and they were downsizing anyway, so it made sense to choose me to leave the business, right? And I was very, very happy about that. But I had this wave of, oh no, like, do they not like me? And you know what? During that that experience with human resources, they were really great, and they told me how great I was and things like that. And I went outside and was like it was a bit of a knock, really, as I'm sure anybody else has experienced that kind of rejection. But then I had this whole feeling of just this weight's lift off my shoulders. I'm like, now I can pursue my own business. And that was 5 years ago, guys, nearly 5 years ago in October. Yeah, look where I am now, speaking to you guys on self-leadership. I just love it. Now, had I gone, no, you need to keep me, and I need to have this salary, and then I just pursued the corporate world alone, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be the kind of person that I am now. So look at your life and say, when did you reject rejection? Start rejecting it and saying the word next. Alex again. Alex with the comments. You're on fire today. Ask yourself, how could this be a good thing? Right. There is learning from every opportunity. Every no, there is a learning. Now, I want to talk a little bit, for anyone that knows Carol Dweck, she's the creator of the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. And I've talked about this very, very briefly, kind of episode 3 to 5, that kind of area. Sorry, I got itchy nose here. I really did. That's not me lying. Now, if you think that you have a growth mindset, I would love for you to tell me in the comments where that came from. How did that grow? So she created that. There's something called a growth or a fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is people see in the light of rejection that, oh, this is just evidence that I'm not good enough. This is evidence that I should not be doing this. This is evidence, again, it's reaffirming that limiting beliefs that we spoke about in really early episodes. A growth mindset is, for example, you apply for a job and you get, like the boring generic, if you get anything at all nowadays, say, unfortunately, you're not the right person for the position, but we wish you all the well in your career, blah, 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 blah. A growth mindset is, why do I think I wasn't the right person for that position? Am I lacking skills? Was it not the right culture for me? Am I not a right culture fit for them? Is that the kind of company I should be applying for? And asking yourselves questions that will allow you to grow, right? If you apply as a speaker, for example, oh my goodness, I get tons of rejections and I get tons of yeses for me as a speaker. And each time I get a no, I think, why is it I got that no? So I adopt and it takes time. It takes time. And this is a mindset change for me to say, as opposed to, I really wanted to speak for them. Didn't they not like me? The inner child kind of goes, oh, they don't want to be friends with me. The growth mindset kicks in and goes, wait a minute. Maybe my company isn't close enough to that business. Maybe because the topic that I addressed isn't relevant in their business right now. Maybe it's because I'm going to get booked during that time anyway for a different client, right? Adopt a growth mindset. So the next time you find yourself going, oh, they don't want to go out on a date with me, or, oh, perhaps they don't want to pursue that friendship, or that proposal didn't go through, ask yourself, what can you do to make that better in the future? And was it really the right thing for you in the first place? Isn't that interesting? So I totally invite you to take a look at the fixed versus growth mindset. I thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, please pop them right now in the comments. I'll be happy to address them. I know I can see a couple of people that we have online are current students in the university field and the college field. I see that we have some life coaches. I see that we have a comedian. There's a comedy event company as well. Think about this. Like the person that owns their own company, there's 3 people that own their own company on here that I know personally. Think about this. Each time that you've told somebody about your business and they've gone, oh, yeah, no, I don't need that, or I don't need to attend, or I don't need a life coach, or what have you. How did it make you feel the first no, right? 44% of salespeople, and I think I mentioned this in another episode, 44% of salespeople will give up very, very quickly and just not go back to that person. But it could be a not right now, but people are not explicit. I want you to think about that. Next time you get rejected, think it might be a not right now, right? Look at the current circumstances in the world. Just position yourself as the expert. Make sure you're top of mind when it is a yes. And this will come back to you, or leave space for something extra wonderful to come into your life. So I thank you for joining me daily, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern for the Self Leadership Reading Club. Join me next time. Feel free to share. And I wish you an amazing day.